show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clock's main event. Dropkick now and Powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, why this up? Oh, captain, my captain, show the stuff. Power slammer, suplex 2. Hot garbage is just for you. Beat breaker, cut a cold red. Figure 4, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ, strong style. Chop, this is how it do. Tom Clock's main event. Tom Clock's main event. Tom Clock's main event. Tom Clock's main event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark here with you on a Saturday night, 10 minutes late. I could make excuses. I could tell you I was busy. I could say I had technical malfunctions. I could say I didn't have my face put on yet. I could say anything. By the way, how's the hair? Am I good? I could say anything right now. It's not going to make up for the fact that I was not here on time. So my apologies to you. If you're listening to the audio portion of this after the fact, you got nothing to worry about. I was on time and then some. What are you sweating? Welcome back to the program, kids. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like button while you're here. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, Tom Clark back here with you, celebrating 10 years of this here little podcast. I know what you're thinking. That's a long time to be doing a podcast. Yeah, well, guess what? You're right. But I took breaks in the past 10 years. Sometimes I took a long break like I did. I wasn't here for 6 months. Apologies. I'm going to keep apologizing for that. I'm sorry, okay? Things came up. I don't know what to tell you. I took a really long nap. It took me a while to get... I'm older now. We need our rest. But I'm also, some would argue, in my prime. Smash the like button there for me, kids, if you will. Hopefully I'm not too red and looking funky on you. I still got to work on the lighting here, man. My lighting is atrocious. It's a shame, too, because I'm such an incredibly handsome guy. And you're not buying that, are you? So, yeah, I got to work on the lighting, so my apologies on that one. Let's say a few hellos before we get rolling, and then we're going to bring the ladies on. Yes, it's an all-ladies event here tonight. Every one of y'all will be happy, because we had a bunch of dudes here, a bunch of hairy dudes here last week, okay? But this week, we got a bunch of hairy ladies here. I had to. I had to. Don't be hating. Don't nobody see they're all laughing. See, everyone takes a good humor. These are just jokes. Everybody calm down. Who was the first one at the table? Josh McManus is here. What's up? How you doing, Josh? Gene? Mean Gene, what's going on? What's going on, Robbie? Good to see you, my friend. David Down Under, how are you doing? I'll never do that again. I'm so sorry. Terrible. Really terrible. Richie Price. Richie, you've been on the show, haven't you? Brother, you're the man. Thanks for tuning in. Jeffrey, how you doing? Ray All Day's not here. I might have to ask the ladies what's going on with Ray Dean. He's not here in the peanut gallery watching the show. I don't know. I even messaged the guy. He's not answering. Ray, do we have heat? Do we have heat, brother? Do we need to sell this, Ray? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't do a job, Ray. I ain't jobbing. Just know that. I ain't bumping and I ain't jobbing. You better know that. So, all right, let's don't waste any more time, kids. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's bring on our first guest from the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. Faye, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. You have the distinction of being on the last show I had before I went dark for 6 months.
I mean, it's a good way to it's a nice segue to go back into it.
Hopefully we've got you back on. You're not like the talisman or something and something terrible happens.
No, don't put the blame on me. You can't do this.
I'm just saying. Also, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. Also coming on tonight from Peaches and Powerbombs. I'll bring them on together. We've got Marie and Laura. Ladies, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, doing great. And speaking of Ray All Day, he is now my co-host on the TRWC Tailgate Party every Wednesday. So maybe he just got too big for his britches and,
I'm telling you right now, I don't do the job. Ray needs to know that. So, yeah, Ray better know that. So thanks everybody. I appreciate you very much for coming on. We're going to talk. We're going to review AEW Double or Nothing, as if you guys haven't reviewed the life out of it already. I'm sure you have, but you're going
I
to do it
haven't
one more
actually
time.
done one yet, so this is my first time
Oh,
doing the Double or
I'm
Nothing, which is nice.
I'm so happy. That's awesome. Yeah, that's wonderful. So I appreciate you. First off, let's go around the horn. Faye, we'll start with you. What did you think about the show overall?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was highly entertaining. And all my favorites were on it, except for Kenny Omega. So, and Eddie Kingston. So we had a good show.
I agree. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. There was some stuff that happened that other people didn't enjoy, but also other people have weird opinions about stuff too. So I'll try to take those opinions in stride. Marie, what did you think about the show overall? Was it a thumbs up, thumbs down? What did you think?
It was a lot of fun. Even though it was long, I felt like it had a really good pace to it, which normally it feels long through the AEW pay-per-view, but this one didn't feel as long, as the others, even though it was. And of course, I missed Eddie Kingston. It really broke my heart.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for a whole year, and that did.
It's that long. I heard it was long, but I don't recall hearing a year. That's crazy.
Yeah, he broke his leg, tore his ACL, and tore his meniscus all in one fell swoop. So
wow,
he can't even have his surgery on his torn muscles until his leg heals up.
That's July, isn't it? He's getting his surgery. Yeah, and then he's out till May 2025. Yeah. Expected to be anyway, which is sad.
That's
Very
insane. Sad. That's a shame too. Hate to hear that. Laura, what'd you think about the show overall?
I agree with Marie. It was fun. Very, the pace was good. You weren't thinking, God, really? I forgot about this match. Come on. No, it was very good. I very much enjoyed it. And I had to watch it in 3 settings, but I watched it.
Oh, did you? Did it take you that long?
I watched it twice. So I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah. Well, it would have been 2 settings, and I went to go try to watch it last night, and I had an errand run. Oh, Mina says hi, by the way. I had an errand to run, and so like an idiot, I left it paused. I have everything set on my smart TV through my Xbox, and so when I come back, I go to watch Swerve and Christian. And it just cut off on me because it got too hot. I was like, dang it. So I had to watch it this morning.
I've seen it. I've seen it twice.
Say hi.
She's not been on the show, has she?
I don't think
so. Or has
she? She might.
I think she has. It's been a while, though.
Yeah. She said Double or Nothing was good. She was just giving us her valued opinion.
Ray has shown up. Ray, do we have heat, brother? Because I thought we were good. And then you didn't show up last week, Ray. What's going on, man? Come on now. Don't be everybody be forgetting. I gave Ray his first podcast break. Don't you forget that, Ray. I put it in your blood like I did with these girls. Now you'll never stop doing it. That's what happened. I'm nothing if not a virus. I latch on and your immune system can't fight me. They'll tell you. Once they start to like, man, I gotta record again. When can I? You know what I mean?
Hand me a mic.
Yeah, I need a mic. I sell out my mother for a mic. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's just too much fun. That's why I still do this. I do this because I enjoy it, of course, but I love talking to smart people and just having a laugh and never taking anything too seriously. So,
always best.
Since we've got the ladies on stage here, kids, by the way, please say hello to the ladies. Make them feel welcome. And I appreciate that. Since we've got the ladies on stage tonight, how about we go ahead and just start? And I'm going to do something a little bit different. We had 3 women's matches on this show. I'm actually thinking, why don't we just group all 3 women's matches together and let's kind of discuss it once. So we had Deonna Purrazzo defeating Thunder Rosa. I'm not going to roll my R's because I'll embarrass everybody here. We also had, of course, Mercedes Moné defeating Willow Nightingale. And then we had Toni Storm defeating Serena Deeb. So, Faye, let me start with you. Did you have a favorite of the 3? What did you think about all 3 matches? Thoughts?
I think for the first one, and this isn't just for Thunder Rosa since she's been back. I think Thunder Rosa when she left, the women's competition was like up here, like she was like here, and a lot of the women were like here.
Mm.
Now I feel like since Rosa's got back, the women have excelled like far past what they were when she left on injury. And I think it's just taken Thunder a bit of time to get back to where she was at before in terms of chemistry wise. But I think Deanna was the perfect opponent to put her with for her first pay per view match back. I think she's fantastic, and I'm so glad she's here. But my favorite match out of all of them, it's Tony. I'm still absolutely loving what Tony is doing. She's magnificent, and it's just a delight every time she's on my screen, I think. And Willow's one was just heartbreak. It was just I was just so sad. She's just the joy in everything,
Yes.
isn't she? And then that happened, and I was very sad. I watched it twice, and it didn't get any easier.
Yeah, and plus, Phil was the one that made the point last week on the show about, Mercedes is not going to lose her first match in the company, and I agreed with him. But
Phil was bang on the money with most of his predictions, with all of his predictions.
every one of them, he's the only one that hit all of them out of the park. The rest of us were, we hit and missed. So, yeah, he hit it out of the park. Like, and Marie, to that point, it was her first match in AEW. You could have made the case for she loses and pitches the Bret Hart fit outside the ring and destroys equipment, which was what I thought would have been cool to see. And then the whole story is about I'm going to get revenge, and this is supposed to be about me. You're all here for me, and it's a monster heel turn. But she kind of didn't need to do that because the crowd was already sort of mixed on her.
The boo was huge, wasn't it? Which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. I mean, she's practically heel now, isn't she?
She had that incredible Beyonce entrance, though, which I loved.
Yeah.
With the drums.
Did you think it was a good first outing for her, Marie, overall?
Oh, yeah. I think her strongest suit is the actual in-ring, what she brings to her matches and everything like that. She's okay on the mic. I'm not as hard on her as other people are. They think she's terrible. I don't think she's all that bad, but I can understand how some people just don't connect with her in that way. But they definitely connect with her when she starts, when that bell rings. So I was very happy with how that match went. I was on the fence at first, but then when Chris Statlander did her turn on Willow, then I was okay with Mercedes Moné winning the title, because then that turn would have been a little bit too much adding on top of all of that. So be interested in seeing what happens next.
I honestly did not think we needed the Stokely and Statlander thing after the match. I thought if you're not going to cost her the match, which you probably shouldn't because that kind of taints Mercedes' first win. So then why not do it Wednesday? Why not do it Wednesday when you could say, you lost the belt, you dropped the ball, you let both of us down, but instead it's you just lost the belt. Let me throw you on the ramp and humiliate you. Like, why?
To add on to that, though, I think because everything about Willow is like goodness and friendship, that like the heartbreak with the added heartbreak added on to that then. And like
Absolutely.
She needs that emotional turmoil because she's such, everything she does is emotional and feeling that like it was so, it just added on to it and really dug the blade into the loss, I think, with that.
And that'll make the crowd gravitate towards her and be on her side even more.
Yeah, I see the point. I mean, it makes sense. I kind of question the timing of it. So, Laura, overall, what did you think about all three women's matches? Do you have a favorite? What's your thoughts?
Of course, I'm very partial to Mercedes, and for me, this was probably my favorite match on the card, Mercedes and Willow. I want to give my thoughts on that, and I want to talk about Tony and Serena. I was thinking while y'all were talking, and how maybe they should have waited on the turn and whatnot. But to me, I feel like Willow is such a positive, happy-go-lucky person. Like she had a very bad night Saturday, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I figured not only did she lose her title, Chris Statlander's like, okay, I'm gonna turn on her too. So maybe it could be like a psychology thing to just, I'm gonna kick you while you're down because that's just what we do. I'm the bad
make
guy.
Me happier.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of took. That's kind of what I thought from that, and I think Mina's agreeing with me. But yeah, I loved Mercedes' entrance. I actually watched that twice. That was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. I liked her. I liked her Eddie inspired gear, Eddie Guerrero inspired gear, and but yeah, I think that was my favorite match on the card. Just I think it was a lot more in it versus the other ones. Let's see. Don't let her fool you. She wants to show herself on camera. That's just the way she is. But and then I really enjoyed Tony and Serena too. And I kept thinking during that match, Serena Deeb is just so underrated. She's really good.
There's not a lot of technical women's wrestlers in AEW either, so she really stands out.
Exactly.
And Nigel McGuinness is always a treat whenever Tony Storm, whenever he does one of her matches. He's so funny.
Yeah, it was a good match, and even I caught Serena Deeb on social media praising her match with Tony Storm. So I knew then, when I saw that, I said, I gotta watch this match just for the fact that Serena put it over. So that's why I was just like, all right, I want to watch this match. And sure enough, it was really good too. I think I just like Mercedes a little bit more because of the history behind it. But Tony and Serena were just as great as well.
Robbie says, embarrassing to say I have a bit of a crush on Willow. Why is that embarrassing? Willow's a pretty girl.
She's beautiful.
Look, we're talking about celebrity crushes. If Scarlett Johansson knocks on my door, I'm out of here. It's okay. I've told her. She already knows. The wife, that is. She already knows. Scarlett. And listen, all she got to do is get rid of that idiot comedian on SNL. Just give me a call. I'm just saying. So.
Back when I was in college, I went up to New York City for a part of my chorus because we sang at Carnegie Hall. And we were walking and we were close to Broadway, and she came out of the theater. And so she was probably about 3 or 4 feet away from me. So that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Scarlett Johansson.
Very cool. I was going to ask you how you got to Carnegie Hall, but I know that joke. So I won't ask you how the rest of that goes. Practice, man. Practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed all 3 women's matches for sure. Toni Storm continues to inhabit her own zip code, her own atmosphere. There is no getting over on Toni Storm right now. Even if she were to try to heel out, I don't think it'd work. I think it would have to be drastic because they try to push her as heel and it's not working. And then one week they're not pushing her like that, and then they are, and it's odd to me. But that, just like Okada, you can't. They're gonna boo Okada, man. They love him and they love Tony, and that's fine. It's obvious. And instead of other companies that will continue forcing push, it seems like they're all right, fine, cheer for them. It's okay. Yeah. Because really you can't fight it, Faye, right? You can't keep pushing back against what the fans want.
Not at all. And I think as well, you say she exists in her own universe. I think her and Juice just exist in their own dimension of strangeness, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that household?
Oh my God. I bet their kid's going to have, that's going to be the most fun ever.
Yeah.
Ray says, you think Mercedes will turn soon? I mean, she's 90 seconds away from a heel turn, and it'll work.
Yeah.
And it'll work. It'll get over. It'll be money. No pun intended.
I think she's better as a heel anyway.
I do too.
Yeah, it's more natural for her.
Yeah, and like, this 20 seconds after she won the belt, she's doing that dance. I'm like, you just won the belt. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And you're a baby face. Come on. Like, but there again, that's her gimmick. That's her character. So,
I mean, Shota Umino was doing it as well. Like,
oh my God. It's Will Ospreay's fault. Will's the one that got him
Will
doing
Ospreay's
that.
fault it is.
Oh my God. It's so freaking great. I love Shota Umino as well.
He's such a sweet being. I love him.
Yeah.
Well, and with Tony, they're trying to do this all about Eve thing with Mariah May. Fascinating, by the way. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually it's going to be Mariah May. And Mariah May is supposed to be the one who's diabolical and who is, working behind the scenes trying to cut the legs from underneath Tony eventually, taking advantage of her, just like Eve did to Betty Davis's character in that movie. So, she's going to be the one to quote unquote, she's already a heel, but she's going to be the one to actually be the monster behind the curtain, basically. So
The thing that drives the Tony Storm face turn.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with her and Mina Shirakawa. Is that how you pronounce her surname? Because obviously they had Club Venus in Stardom. So it'd be interesting to see where they go with that, and with Forbidden Door coming up as well.
Yeah.
I did find it funny, we were kind of not complaining, but pointing out that they're, one of the biggest criticisms against this company has kind of always been, you throw people on TV that the audience may know, but maybe not everyone knows. And we don't have to go down that road. That's a long conversation. People are getting passionate about that, and I understand. But and a great example that happened on Wednesday, and forgive me for forgetting her name. She's the NJPW Strong Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephanie.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher the pronunciation.
First of all,
her surname, but yeah,
she's got the best gear. She's got a great look. She can work.
Yeah.
But we get that little video package, and then 90 seconds later, she's on TV, and I'm like, you didn't even give us I'm glad you did it.
To absorb it.
Sure, but maybe do it last week, and then I don't know. I don't want to be that guy that complains no matter what they do, because that sucks. But maybe let it breathe for a bit. I don't know. By the way, if you guys haven't seen her work all that much, she's very good. So I think it's a good get for them, no matter what she does, even if it's just a one and done or whatever. I think that'll be good. So we had 2 trios matches, and I wanted to kind of throw those together as well. We had the Acclaimed defeated Cage of Agony. They're calling it Cage of Agony now. Okay, Brian Cage.
Works.
I guess. Totally and Bishop Khan. Those 2 guys are killers. And then the trios match for the Unified World Trios Championship. Bang Bang Gang defeating Death Triangle. I mean, obviously the BBG versus Death Triangle was the best of the 2 matches, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The better of the 2. Marie, what did you think about both of these matches? What's your favorite moments overall?
Well, honestly, I didn't see the pre-show because my nephew's girlfriend was watching wrestling for the first time with us that night, and I didn't want to overwhelm her.
Yeah.
So I just turned it on at 8:00 when the main show started. So I have no idea how those matches went. But I'm a huge fan of Jay White, and I'm just
me too.
And I was happy to see Juice Robinson come back as well.
It's awesome. That match is really good. What do you think, Faye?
I think the Acclaimed need to turn in what they're doing at the minute now. I think it should have came to an end with the whole Bang Bang Scissor Gang thing. I think that should have been Billy Gunn turning on the Acclaimed, joining up with the Ass Boys, or the other way around, then beating up Billy Gunn, the Ass Boys coming out to make the save. I think at this point, the Acclaim need to turn heel again. I think it just feels like it's dragging its heels now a bit. I think it would have favored Cages of Agony story more to win that,
Mm.
if I'm being honest. And I was again so happy to see Juice Robinson. I love Jay White. The guns have really grown on me, and it was really nice to see Death Triangle back as well, and
Yes.
everything that's come out after that with Pac and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Am I the
it's
only
all
one that
very good.
really had fun with the Scissor Gang gimmick? I really enjoyed all of them together. Am I the only one that liked that?
No, it was fun. I think I'm just ready for. I think the Acclaim, like the raps and stuff, haven't been hitting, and I know that's sort of part of the character. I think at the minute with Anthony Bowens, he's like messing up his flow, as it were. I promise never to say that again because that sounds awful coming out my mouth.
I'll allow it, but you watch your step, McCoy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think I'm done with the face Acclaim now. I think we could do with seeing them as heels.
Well, on Wednesday night, they aligned themselves with like Christopher Daniels and kind of on the Team AEW side. So do you see
Yeah.
that continuing on, or do you see them maybe eventually maybe turning against Team AEW, quote unquote, and maybe joining on the Elite side? Not join
I
the
could
Elite,
see-
but
Everyone's got a price though, haven't they? That would be interesting to see if something like that would happen if they were to like buy them out, because that seems like something that our lovely EVPs would do at the minute.
yeah, because of all the people that came out to stand with Christopher Daniels during those few minutes, I was just like kind of felt a little let down that it was the Acclaim, but who else
Yeah.
could have it been at that point? Because
Would have been nice to see maybe like Private Party or something as well. But yeah, I think the Acclaim could be bought. I think that would be a good way for it to go over. You know, maybe, yeah.
And the raps lately have not been awesome. He
No,
kind
they
of felt
haven't.
right at the show. It kind of felt like he was. I didn't really get it, and like it, I don't know. So, and you know this idea of Max needs to. They need to. You know, no one's like Tony needs to put a governor on him. Nonsense. Let the guy say what he wants. I don't get this. We're getting our feelings hurt over words. It's a silly pro wrestling show. I mean, if he offends somebody, okay, well, your tickets didn't say we promise you won't get offended. Like, I don't know. I think he's at his best when he's just allowed to do his thing.
yeah.
And you know, if he can't go in the ring, I could maybe understand, but he can work. So like, you know, put him in any kind of match. I'm sure he'll do well. And like I said, he's talented on the mic. Just let him talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get that. People get weird over stuff. I don't get it. Laura, what's your thoughts on these two matches? And you think the Acclaim turning heel is a good idea eventually?
Yeah, I think the Acclaim could turn heel. It'll do some wonders for them. I think I've always loved the Acclaim. I've always been real big on them. I wouldn't mind seeing them turn heel again. Just kind of get a new life, you know. Because sometimes you just need to change. I didn't see the pre-show either, but I did enjoy the trios match with Jay White and them. I love Jay White. He's one of my favorites, and yeah, very very fun match. And I'm glad to see Juice Robinson back too.
So awesome.
Yes.
I think you could even like tease it where like they're coming back out with the boombox or something like that, because they used to use that a lot where they used to hit people and
Oh, that's
stuff
right.
like that with it. So that'd
yeah.
be interesting if they started doing that again.
I forgot about that.
You know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the cardboard cutout that the other guys were doing was awesome. too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too, I'm so glad Juice Robinson is doing so well, because when he was at NXT, I think he'd still be there. Honestly, he did the best thing and betted on himself, and you know, he's definitely reaping the rewards.
Absolutely.
And Juice Juice is awesome. Like when he was still in New Japan and before he did the heel turn, they ran a show. Oh gosh, where was it? It was in North Carolina. Concord, yeah. and New Japan came, and it was the year that, our well, I won't get too political, but it was the year that foreign people weren't liked very much for weird reasons. So Japanese stars couldn't come over for the show because,
Oh yeah.
right? So it was mostly American guys that came over, and Juice worked the main event. And after the show was over, he got out of the ring and went around all four sides. And this took an hour. And he shook every hand, took every picture, signed every. I'm telling you,
That's awesome.
we were there an hour. Like, I'm sure the rest of the locker room's packing up and getting Ubers to go to their hotel or whatever. He stayed. I'm like, you are getting so much respect right now. People in this building will never forget that you did this.
Absolutely.
Because they knew that we wanted Okada and Tanahashi and didn't get that. And he even said on the mic, he said, I know we're not the guys that, that you wanted the other guys, and I'm sorry about that. So I've never forgotten that. I'm sure no one else in that building ever forgot it either. So very cool. Segue here to something that, and I'm just bouncing around the card here, but Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. I had thoughts on this last week. Phil had a good point. I feel better now after Dynamite. Now that I see that Beretta has joined the Don Callis family.
Ugh.
He can't pronounce his own name. Sad.
A little bit.
Now I feel much better about it, Marie. But like at the time, I'm like, did we just turn on Orange? Because we just turned. What is this? Now I feel much better about it. But these guys had a really good match at the show as well.
Yeah, I was feeling like before Dynamite, I was like, okay, did we just go ahead and bury Trent's very new heel turn by having him lose twice to Orange Cassidy? And the fact that we know that that's not over quite yet, so he might be able to still get, something out of that, and him joining Don Callis, hopefully will do something for him, because. At the time I was like, Trent should have won that match. I still feel like Trent should have won that match, but I do, like you, feel a little bit better about, that it's not over with. So.
Plus, I think him joining the family opens the door for Will to leave because Will needs to get out of that family. I think Trent will actually excel. I think he'll excel, and I think he'll take the leadership role. I think it'll be wonderful.
I 100% agree. I think Trent Beretta, this will be a good opportunity for him to showcase that, he can, he is a force to be reckoned with. I thought he always had the potential, and he just never really quite got that opportunity. So join into Don Callis family. I don't like Don Callis, but this is great. This is great for Trent Beretta, and I think I'm like you, Tom. I think that would be a good way to get Will Ospreay out of there, because obviously Will Ospreay just doesn't fit in there. I don't really get to catch up on AEW much, and even I knew that. I was like, okay, this is weird, so.
Yeah, for sure. And Faye, this whole thing again, I think he'll take over, and I think that getting Will out of this is the best thing. And I get that this company is not. They're not too hung up on the whole heel and face dynamic. I remember when Cody was there, him saying that wasn't really a concern for them. The Bucks have said it. And I'm like, I just fundamentally disagree with that. People need someone to cheer and someone to boo. Like,
yeah,
we cannot get, I'm okay with playing with the dynamic, but this idea of they ride the fence, oh, they're a tweener, it doesn't work. Stop it. It will never work. The money will be okay. The response will be okay. It's not what, in my opinion, any company needs, much less this one. I mean, you need people to love, and they love Will Ospreay. And Don Callis makes it feel weird. I don't know why he's still.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like water and oil, isn't it? Like that type of thing. Like it's just, yeah. It'd be good to see, though. I think from this, it would be good to see. Trent get the belt off Orange and then push Orange into the Owen. Not Orange, sorry. Trent get the belt off Will and then push Will into the Owen for
Ooh,
Interesting.
that'd be interesting.
And even with tweeners, like through
Moxley's
the years,
a forever tweener, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like Moxley's always danced on the fence.
Well, back when like we had Stone Cold and everything like that, there was still a line that he didn't cross. I mean, he wouldn't do anything just diabolically evil either. You know, he beat everybody up that he came across, but he didn't do anything just super heinous. So we have some people one week doing something that normally would get you booed, and then the next week they're acting like a face again, and then I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with you right now? I am so confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like Stone Cold still to stay true to his character. John Moxley still stays true to his character, but other people are just like kind of going back and forth, and it just makes you think of where they really are. What am I really supposed to do?
Yeah. Trent needs to get out of the Don Callis family and join the Learning Tree faction. He doesn't need it.
No,
Trent
please
Barretta's
don't.
Trent's a veteran. Trent's a multi-year veteran. He doesn't need to be schooled by anybody,
No.
much less Jericho. I mean,
Yeah.
no disrespect against Jericho, but like Trent's already been up and down the roads he's been in business for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Brienne doing fine. Sandy in Germany, good to see you. Folks, I apologize of not, it's just whenever we've got multiple guests on. Ash, good to see you, my dear. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, let's see. Jeffrey says Will Ospreay and Don Callis are polar opposites, and that's why it is not working. Yeah. I mean, and speaking of Will Ospreay defeating Roderick Strong. Listen, I don't know what more people need to understand that Roddy is a great freaking wrestler.
Fantastic.
And this idea that everybody has to cut a promo like Dusty Rhodes, I get it, but like Roddy doesn't need to do that. Roddy can be goofy, stupid with his Magnum TA mustache and his glasses, which that he knows it's goofy, which is why he does it. And I love Roddy. I freaking love this guy. And he and Will had a banger. It was really good. Man, it was a good match.
Yeah.
Alara, the fact that, and I'll throw this question in for you as well, Ospreay now is going to face Swerve. In my humble opinion, maybe you could have waited, throw another contender in between. I mean, Swerve shouldn't be losing that belt. I just don't. Man, I got a bad feeling about that. And I love Will, but like, I don't know. I think it's entirely the wrong time to even tease something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think Will Ospreay will be champ in due time, but let Swerve enjoy it. I think think Swerve is on a hot run. Don't do this. Like, this can wait. I think there's other opponents out there that Swerve could keep himself busy with.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you. Ospreay and Strong was really, really good. Ospreay's just amazing. Like, I love him.
And, especially for that crowd who has seen a lot of things and seen a lot of different types of workers, for any of them to go, whoa, like that reaction in 2024 is not easy to get now because we've seen so much.
Yeah.
But Ospreay continues to do things that you're going, oh my God, what? You have to go back and slow it down. Right?
With your eyes.
Yeah.
It's just so incredible. Like,
he is. Yeah. Jeffrey says, why make Will Ospreay a champion? And put him in a match with Swerve that he is not going to win right now? Because I think there's bigger things at play here. I think the Don Callis thing is going to play out through all this, and I think maybe it'll screw him over. Shane says MJF can interfere in the match. It will make a feud with Ospreay and Swerve.
I would like to see Hangman be one of Swerve's first title defenses. My dream is for Hangman to win the Owen, and then we get a dog collar match at All In.
Oh, nice.
That's what I want.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could definitely see the whole thing with Ospreay and the Don Callis family at All In. I think it's a lot bigger because he's been involved with that, and it will mean a whole lot more. And they're going to be in his home country, so you kind of want it to be impactful, but at the same time, it's kind of like you're in a rock and a hard place. But yeah, I don't think it makes sense for him to be against Swerve right now. Maybe, him feuding with the Don Callis family, and I think it'd be so much more impactful. Just in my opinion.
Hey, I haven't forgot about you. I'm good to see you, my friend. So, Marie, is Will Ospreay the best wrestler in the world right now?
I don't know. That's a very hard question. It depends on who you
To
are
you.
and what you know.
Okay. Who is
No.
to you?
Right now,
Yeah.
Gunther.
Really?
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But he's really good. And before he came to AEW, I didn't know too much about him, but I was at Collision back in March and he came out, and that was the first time I think that they did a, face-to-face promo with Bryan Danielson to start setting that up.
Mhm.
And he was very charismatic and had a ton of energy, and I just gravitated towards him. And I was like, okay, this guy won me over. I think this guy is really great.
Mm.
And yeah, he's great. I think that Tony Khan has a bad habit of coming up with an idea, getting so excited about it that he has to have it right now. Oh, Swerve versus Will.
ADHD energy is what that is.
Yes. Yes. Oh, it's going to be so great. Dude, calm down. Let it work yourself up to it. We don't have
Let
to
it simmer.
Yes, because Will Ospreay just won the international championship.
Right. What I was about to say, wasn't he a champ? Isn't he a champion?
Yeah, and he just won it a week ago. And then you have Swerve, who just won the world championship, a month or so ago too.
Mhm.
So let us build to things. Don't jump the gun. I also thought it was weird that the Forbidden Door traditionally has been like an AEW guy versus a New Japan guy, and we're not getting that this time. I don't know if
That
they're
would
going
have
to
been
throw
good
someone in there.
against Shooter.
Mm.
We were all hoping for Shingo, weren't we? Let's be honest.
Mm.
That's what we wanted. But as soon as I saw Shooter, I was like, I got really excited because I love him, and I was
Me
like,
too.
oh my god.
Well, he
It'd
and
be so
Ospreay
good.
have history, as you know. Ospreay loves
Yeah.
that kid.
And it would have been good at, like, Shooter as well, just coming off like testing himself against his mentor, and giving up the rough neck, the Death Rider jacket, and like he's out on himself, and like he's all grown up now. Would have been a good first challenger for Swerve.
Mm.
And then maybe you could have tied that in with like a potential Mox feud or something like that down the line. That would have been fun. Yeah, it would have been nice for it to be being Shooter, I think.
And it kind of feels weird. Ospreay is red hot, and now you pour gasoline on him, but he just got there 20 minutes ago. Like, I kind of have a fear that, are you going to do too much too soon? And come November, we're all going to be going, man, Will's cooled down. Will has really cooled down.
And the
Like,
thing is, people love Swerve too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, his title run just hasn't felt all that important to the show lately, and I hate to say that. I mean, the elite stuff and the Team AEW stuff has really taken over the entire focus of the show, and so it's like the world champion is way over here in this corner, and he should be the focal point, but he's not.
I like what he's doing. I have no issue with anything he's done.
No.
I
liked his stuff with Christian and all that. It just hasn't been a featured place on the show.
You're talking about
as
where he
far
is
as-
on the card. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That makes sense. I mean, WWE did the same thing to Punk when he was WWE champion. I mean, it's these weird moments happen when you're like, why is your world champion not in the main event? But I think Anarchy in the Arena has always main evented
Yeah.
every time, hasn't it? So
Yeah. It's kind of like a double or nothing tradition at this point.
yeah.
It just
That's- I
doesn't
mean-
look good when he's your first black world champion. People might start saying things. I'm not saying that that's the reason. I don't think it is. I think it's just a product of the way it's going right now. But some people would say those things, and you don't want them to.
No, and I don't think with this company that's what's happening. To your point, I do think it's a matter of weird timing. It's maybe not bad timing, but it's weird timing because, like, even if you knew you had the plan in place to give Swerve the belt, if Osprey becomes available, you sign Osprey. It's just that,
yeah.
right? It's just that maybe, like you said, let's don't get too excited about the idea of booking them against each other. Maybe, and I don't know. They're
'Cause
booking it. I mean, it is what it is.
The AEW doubters are already under the impression that Swerve is just going to be a transitional champion too. And when you go ahead and tease us with him versus Osprey, you're giving them fuel to go for that. Oh, well, Swerve is already going to lose it. I thought he wasn't going to lose it until Wembley to Will Osprey, and now they're doing this, and he's going to lose it already in June. So,
But
I think I'd be okay with Osprey not winning the Forbidden Door and then not even getting a shot at Wembley. I think you could even do it. Jay made a really good point to me the other day. And Jay from our podcast, and he said, have Swerve lose it at Wrestle Dream against Osprey in Swerve's hometown.
Interesting. And I don't hate that either.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
To your point about AW haters having something to talk about, they're always going to have something to talk about.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what this company does. They could sign anybody and book them to the moon. AW haters are still going to have, I want them to fail. I want them to go up in flames. I'm over it. It doesn't bother me. I just, no matter what they do, they're going to be criticized for it. They could do the best thing ever. And they could give every penny from this coming Dynamite to charity, and they'd say, they should have gave more. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, I've been on the record for years. I've never wished for WWE to fail. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I'll never get, I want this company to fail. What?
No.
Why? For God's sake, what are you
Competitions
talking?
made them both so much
pro
better.
wrestling. We didn't have multiple companies for years at one point.
Yeah.
And just nobody's ever happy. Isn't that right, Mina? Nobody's ever happy.
Well, look, nobody's ever happy, which takes me to Chris Jericho defeating Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. I had to segue somehow, since since we're talking about bad stuff. Let's talk about more bad stuff.
Oh gosh,
Chris is this kind of man. The more I see it, the more I think they believe it's going to work eventually. Like it's going to find a niche and it's going to work. And I'm thinking, I hope you're right, but man, I don't think it's found a niche yet. I don't think it's found. I don't know. He does that. Hi guys, all that stuff.
I think low-key he likes to get under their skin. I think that's why you see that goofy look on his face when he goes out. Because he's enjoying like,
yeah.
You don't like it, but I'm gonna make sure you know.
And I'm waiting to look in the crowd and see people go, oh, all right, I kind of like it. I'm not seeing anybody like, and they're not even booing at this point. They're just kind of, I don't care about this. Like, and he's a pro. He knows what he's doing. He has to know. I don't know if this is working. Like, I wonder when that point's gonna come. When's it gonna come that he's gonna say, I don't know if this is working. Like,
I will never forgive Chris Jericho for making me go, oh no, in a match with Katsuyori Shibata in it. I'll never forgive Chris Jericho for that, ever.
Oh.
Like,
I will.
What is that? Is that something that last year you'd be like, oh, Shibata's going to be on a pay-per-view and you're going to be really mad at the match? You'd have said that to me. I wouldn't have believed you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Never.
I didn't hate the match. I'll be fair. I didn't hate it, but it's the gimmick that's not. It's not working. I will say this: coming out of this past Dynamite, if there's any positive at all, Brian Keith has a what appears to be a regular spot on TV next to a multi-time world champion. And all the stuff about Jericho, everyone say it with me. Jericho doesn't help young guys. All right, now we got it out of the way. I'm saying he's standing next to this guy, even if he doesn't say a word. And every week, people who don't know that face are going to see that face. Keith is upping his value as we speak. So even if things don't work out, they'll work out for the next company he goes to.
Yep.
my opinion.
People
So
are going to remember that because birds of a feather flock together.
it's good for him. So I'm happy for him because he's paid his dues. I mean, it's good to see him.
Poncho. I'm mad they got rid of the poncho. I loved his little bounty hunter ghetto.
Right? Man, what's the problem? Plus, the bounty hunter thing is a very much a 1980s Southern pro wrestling trope. It's
cool,
so
though.
good. It's so awesome. Paying Dick Slater and Bob Orton to break Rick's arm. Such a Harley Race paid him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that whole like great
So
thing,
good.
like the match that he had with Hangman on like Hangman after Hangman came back. His like first title, was it his first title defense, or was it when he came back after the concussion? His first match was against like Brian Keith. It was so good.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if y'all want to spend another 30 minutes on this match, we can. I'm good.
But
with it.
I'm just gonna say that the Jericho thing is supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be awful. He knows it's awful, and he's just kind of throwing it in everybody's face because I don't know if you've heard the Chris Jericho criticism for the past 6 months. It's that every time he faces someone afterwards, they look worse than they did before. And I'm gonna be honest, that was the truth. And he's just kind of embracing that. So like that's why his thing is called TV time, because they're like, oh, Jericho is taking TV time from the young up and comers, to get them over. Oh, Jericho, there goes another one being sucked into the Jericho vortex, and now he's using that Jericho vortex as something, and things like that. So it's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be bad. I don't like it either, but I'm kind of laughing a little bit and going, I see what you're doing, Chris, and my hat's off to you.
I understand, and you're 100% right. I totally agree with you. However, it's still TV time. It's, no pun intended. It's still, we got a lot to get to, kids. What are we doing? Again, he's a veteran. Someone's got to come out of this a little bit better. Even if he is, well, it's time to stick it to the fans that don't like me.
Could you try again?
Great, but like, is live TV the place to do that? Like, I don't know. It just seems like as long as this goes somewhere, it's fine. If this was just because he was having a laugh at fans, that's kind of weird to me. Could do that on your own time. You got a podcast, do it on your podcast. Laugh at them then. You're doing it on live TV. I don't know. It kind of feels like, if we're going somewhere, cool. But like, if Hook pins him now, what's it even matter? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dead wrong. And Hook pinning him tomorrow night or whatever. Oh my God, he's a superstar now. I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I mean, Action Andretti pinned Chris Jericho, and he's still doing matches, 3-way matches on Ring of Honor. So
at least he's hydrated, though.
Man, that's a good-looking kid, and he can work. He's charismatic.
And he's actually a really good promo too, because he cut a promo on a Ring of Honor show that I went to, and I was like, "Oh man, this dude has some fire in him. Let him talk."
Yeah, my watch is doing.
Mina agrees with you.
So let's move on to other things that are not quite as wholly depressing. We were talking about Mox earlier.
Oh.
That's John Moxley to you kids. Defeated Konosuke Takeshita with Dawn Callis. And we kind of knew that Takeshita was not going to win. That kid ain't getting a shot at that title. It is what it is. But, I mean, this is the point on the night when I start saying this might be the match of the night. Like, man, this was
so good.
I mean, Ospreay and Strong, in my opinion, is in the running for match of the night. It was that good in my opinion. So like Mox and Takeshita, God, Mox is just,
he's my favorite wrestler.
There's one guy I'm the most happiest for. It's John Moxley. Like, absolutely living his dream. Faye, what did you think about this match?
It was so good, and it made Takeshita just feel so ruthless when he kept going after the arm, and like he just wasn't caring. He was like, I'm gonna take you apart because this is my shot, and you really felt that. And Dom was just being a leech, but Mox Mox putting himself and his entire character is like, I'm gonna break myself to put you down.
Mhm.
Like you
Yeah.
step in the ring with me, and you're gonna find out what like that whole like knowing like an animal will gnaw its own leg off to get out. That's what he's like. This animal who's got its hackles up, and it's beautiful to watch. It's so good. I enjoy it.
Takeshita won the crowd over too.
Yeah, he did.
He always does.
They were cheering for him not over, but versus Mox.
Yeah, I just think Mox he's just a workhorse, isn't he? And like he's a scary man. It's like you see a visible switch in the point of a match, especially when he comes out with those lariats. Knowing like you think he's like, oh, he's going to get battered here, and he comes back and he just knocks Sparks to catch her out. So good, love it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the great thing about a guy like John is, I imagine John's response to anybody that he works with is like, "What do you want to do?"
Yeah.
Like, because John will do anything.
Yeah.
Because like John will do anything. So if
He's like, I'm down with that. Let's go.
yeah. So like whatever you want to do, those guys are the easiest ones to work with. I mean, God, they're so easy to work with. Like, what do you want to do? All right, let's go.
Mhm.
Like, I'm telling you, I've been in locker rooms before where I've heard 30-minute conversations about a 10-minute match. I'm like, sort it out. You're up. You're up in 20 minutes. Sort it out. What are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, blah, 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 blah. Stop talking it to death. I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, then why are you here? Like, what are we doing?
Just
I
do the
don't know.
thing.
Just do the thing, man. Yeah. Alora, this is Mox is living his best life and clean and sober, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He's done everything outside of the other company now. I mean, I don't know what more he's got left to do. Go to TNA and win that title too if you want to.
EWG. Take
I'm
it off
telling you.
Garcia.
Yeah. He's GCW, their title, whatever. Like, yeah, for real. What do you think? What do you think about him right now overall?
Oh yeah, I agree. He's living his best life. He's just enjoying himself. Just he's down for whatever. He does the best to his ability, and I'm a Mox girl, so
Same.
Yeah. Marie, could you have ever imagined John Moxley coming this far just 5 years ago when AW started?
Yeah. Anything he sets his mind to, I can see him accomplishing it without a problem. I do want to point out that a lot of people usually have a lot of negative things to say about John Moxley, but I want to say that he's not stupid, and people think he is sometimes, and that he can only do one kind of match, and he just proved people wrong. I think he looked at the card and he went, oh, look, there is a barbed wire cage match on this show. Oh, look, there's the Anarchy in the Arena match. I don't want to take anything away from those guys. So let me have a traditional wrestling match with Takeshita. Yeah. And that's what he did. And he proved that he can do that too, by the way. It was amazing. And yeah.
That shows that he hangs like with the style of Japanese wrestling. As well, to your point, like in that way, it's like, well, we're gonna do it the way that it would be on the other show. Yeah. So I'm gonna wrestle that because obviously, like Eddie's got that huge respect for that style as well, and I think that's often, like, as you said, you bang on the money. It's like often overlooked with Mox.
I think
Sorry.
I was gonna say I think he's the Terry Funk of our generation.
Yeah,
I agree.
Marie, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. I mean, usually people just associate deathmatch wrestling with John Moxley, and that's not all he can do. So.
No, he's very good. I think he's actually trying for the Terry Funk thing. And, I'll say this too. This is coming from a guy who's watched since he was a kid and grew up watching territory wrestling. I think he might be doing better than Terry at some points. I honestly think that way. And Terry was awesome. But pound for pound at this age where they were in their careers, can you imagine Terry Funk versus John Moxley in a multiverse situation? Holy Lord. That would be something to behold. But he can do everything. Like you guys said, he can do everything. I mean, and he can flip that switch and become whatever you need. The best talents in your locker room are the ones that can do anything you need them to do. Like, we can't go to this guy and ask him to go 15. He can't go 15. He can do 10 to 12. That's the best he can do. You know what I mean? John can do anything. John can do 10. He can do an hour. Doesn't matter. And at the end of the hour, you're still as captivated as you were in the first 10 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how good he is. And you got to keep him. You got to keep him in good spots on the card against really good contenders, really good wrestlers, because otherwise, why is he not AW World Champion? So I think him having the IWGP Championship serves a couple of masters. One, it's a belt he's always wanted. Two, Japan wants him to have it, of course. And number three, it keeps him away from the AW World title because, like, if Okada wasn't with the Elite, he needs to have. I'm telling you, like, you got to keep your best guys away from that belt if it's not their time.
Yeah. And he's been the backbone. I kind of think. Well, maybe not even the backbone. I'll say the lungs. He's kept that company breathing through all of the bad stuff. He's like, okay, well, here I am, and he's kept life into that company and got them through, all of the bad publicity and all of the stuff, in the past couple years and everything. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. So we've got 4 matches left. We've done pretty good for an hour and 15. Well, an hour, actually. We were a little late. We've got 4 left here. This was the most fun I had of this show was Adam Copeland defeating Malachi Black in the barbed wire steel cage match. Faye, I freaking love this match. I thought it was great. Yeah. I again, talk about living your best life till he goes and hurts himself. I mean, Copeland and Black, I wish these guys could work every week. I think they'd be money every time they hooked up.
I think for me, this was such a nostalgia kick for me. Like, it was very much like wouldn't it be great if they did the Bruise? And then it happened. And I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm like 8 again. This was amazing. I met Gangrel last year as well, earlier this year. And he lovely. Was lovely. Yes. And he can still go, man. Oh, yeah, so good. But just to see him there and just the House of Black, I think my love for the House of Black have sort of stemmed from that love of the Brood. So it's a nice homage to everything. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, it was fantastic. And I love hardcore matches and deathmatch wrestling anyway. It's one of my favorite things to watch, actually. Yeah, it was so good. Yeah. I could watch another hour of that. I really could. It was brilliant.
Yeah, excellent.
And
match.
It was go from the straight off. It's like they were really at each other as well.
I think House of Black's the best faction in that company by far.
I agree with that.
That they've ever had. And Blackpool Combat Club was great, but
I still love BCC.
I do too. Hopefully we're getting Wheeler Yuta back soon. I've not heard anything about him, so
I miss my boy.
Hopefully be back.
I was 15 all over again seeing Gangrel. Boy, he still could do that DDT. He looks so good.
Oh my goodness.
It was fantastic. It was so good.
Man. I was about to say he still has my favorite. He still does the best DDT.
I mean, $1,000,000 looked fantastic. That was such a great match.
The Brood theme is still one of the best wrestling themes ever as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Easy.
I was 15 all over again. I was all in my fangirl feels. And I didn't know I needed this match so bad. And this was probably, well, I take that back about Mercedes earlier. I think this was my favorite match just because of the
healed my soul a bit.
Yeah, just Mercedes and Willow was very good too. But yeah, man, Adam Copeland is just having the time of his life. He looks like he's so much happier right now because he's doing what he wants to do on his own terms and going against somebody amazing like Malachi Black. Like, oh God, like I said, I didn't know I needed this so bad, but it was. Good.
Yeah.
And I
was
like that
excellent.
they proved the other company wrong when he said that he wanted to bring Gangrel in for that one match that he had. And they were like, well, no one's going to remember who he is. And this, that place went crazy when he came out from underneath the ring. I was like, see, we still know who he is. Come on, guys. And
Oh man,
I
the
was
pop that he
terrified.
got. The pop that he got though, man. Gosh.
yeah, it was great. And Faye, I got to meet Gangrel back in 2016. He's a lovely person.
He's so nice, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, it's great. When I saw him do that DDT, I was like, oh. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, so we need him in like AEW at some point then, don't we?
Yes,
You
we
saw that,
do.
and it's like, that needs to be there. Oh, fantastic.
I said last week, I wonder if they'll let Copeland come up to the stage in a ring of fire. And I'm sure I was the only one that said that, but
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know, will they go that far? Like, and they're like, we'll go that far. We got you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Hold this cup of blood. We'll get you.
Yeah. AEW is for the fangirls, is what it is. That's what it is.
I
Yes.
mean, that moment was fantastic. I mean, like, and people forget.
Fantastic, would you
Fantastic. Yes.
say?
You mentioned that implant DDT. People forget that those implant maneuvers and those suplexes came from Gangrel.
Yeah.
Like, he was the one that brought that stuff to WWE because I think don't quote me, I think he picked it up in Mexico maybe. And like he brought that to that company. And when he first hit those moves, I'm like, I've never seen anything like that before. And so to this day, people hit it, it doesn't matter. But like, yeah, and he needs to, all credit where it's due. He was the one I first saw doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It
So-
still
OG.
doesn't look that good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it looks so impactful. I mean, it just,
the way he executes it, I was like, man, I can't.
Yeah.
So quick, isn't it?
missed
Like,
it.
so quick.
it is. It just looks like you're, and that's what it's supposed to look horrendous. And it does. It looks like there's so much more force
Rocky.
being put behind it. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed that. And get well soon, Copeland. Looks like he's probably out for, 8 months to a year maybe or something like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can tell. Oh, I saw where he got hurt, and I was like, oh man, that looked rough.
you're not, if you land flat footed, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I mean, I've been in the building when guys have gotten hurt because they landed flat footed. You can't, there's got to be a stop, drop, and roll scenario at some point. And, I kind of understand because, and people are giving him crap about it, but like you wrapped him in barbed wire, you can't exactly land on him. Because if you do and you're not cut to pieces, because it's kind of gimmicked barbed wire, by the way, then if you're not bleeding, then it's kind of ruining the effect. Like,
Yeah.
So I can kind of see why there was hesitation. But in his words, he shouldn't have done it. And, he's an old man and all this stuff. And I'm like, come on. It's not that bad.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll heal
He'll
up.
be back.
Yeah, it'll be fine. By the way,
Maybe
I
we can
was
get the
wrong.
Brood back.
And they put it up on the screen and said it.
I know.
So apparently, either that trademark is expired, or they couldn't trademark it. Some things you can't trademark, right? Like things like Thor. Like you could write anything. Whoever owns, I don't know who owns Thor, but like if you're a comic book guy, you know this. You can't call your character the Mighty Thor, or make him look like Chris Hemsworth in the suit because that's been trademarked. But I could write a story about Thor because that goes back to Viking
Norse
mythology. Yeah, so you can't trademark everything. So I'm not schooled up on the Brood situation, but I mean, Copeland doesn't get hurt. I'd love to have seen him put something together. That would have been.
That would be so good.
People get upset with factions in that company. I'm like, you evidently have never watched New Japan. Like, I'm okay with factions. I'm okay with factions. I understand it's hard to give everybody equal airtime. I get it. But like, I'm never going to be anti-faction, man. I freaking love it.
I'm just sad that all of my favorites are hurting their legs.
Yeah.
Really,
Eddie
right?
Kingston, Adam Copeland, Acuna Jr. on the Atlanta Braves just tore his ACL and he's out for the season.
Did he come off the top of a steel cage too?
Yes, and landed on, that's how he got his home run that day.
Oh, there you go. The bat was hanging off the cage, so we grabbed it, and yeah, I get it.
That's how baseball works, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly how it works.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Sure, anytime. So I was wrong. We've got 2 left because we already did the ladies. We've already talked quite a bit about Swerve, but it's got to be said, he and Christian is automatic. Much like Copeland, Christian is, you could even possibly make the case that Christian's better than Adam. Maybe
That's
not
often an argument that's made, isn't it? Like a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I mean, Christian is so freaking good. Him and Swerve, I kind of hate this was one and done. I'm glad that there's still something happening, it looks like, but I don't know. It looks like they're moving on to Ospreay now. That kind of sucks, but he did get that win under his belt. Marie, what did you think about this? Was it a fitting AW World Championship match?
Oh yeah. It was, the match itself was really good. The thing that kind of popped me a little bit, and my husband too, he's not that big into wrestling, but there's sometimes when he pays attention, it's really funny. Like he'll watch Christian, and he'll be like, I don't know why, but that turtleneck bothers me. That turtleneck bothers me. I can't stand it. Boo that dude. And I'm like, well, he just did his job because he made you boo him. But there's a spot in that match where Swerve took the turtleneck and pulled it up over his head, over his eyes. And Taz on commentary called it a turtleneck breaker. And that my husband loved that. He thought that was the best part of the whole match. So yeah.
That's wonderful.
And I don't mind factions, but I don't know. Jay White and Jeff Jarrett do this too, where they bring every single person out that they're affiliated with, all 27 of them. And
That's a bullshit thing, that though, isn't it?
It gets busy, and I have a hard time focusing. I don't know if that's just me or not, and it gets a little messy for me. But other than that, I like the match.
Yeah, I really like this. I think Christian's awesome. I mean, and
Christian's consistent in his in his quality and his character, which I appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah. Christian's up there with the most underrated wrestlers. I think. I mean, with Christian, you're going to get a good quality match no matter what. Him and Swerve was no exception. That was a really good match too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This was. I knew they were going to crush it. I mean, they put that belt on Swerve for a reason. He's very good, and I come from the old school of you put the belt on the best worker, and I know that's debatable, and I understand, and there are going to be exceptions. The guy that gets the biggest pop technically should be your champ. It's a marriage. It's a marriage made in heaven when it's the guy that gets the biggest pop, but also your best worker. I mean, that's the guy you want to put
to run with the ball. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And,
WWE's loss was AEW's gain in the case of Swerve. I couldn't believe they let him go. Even when he was in NXT, when I first saw him, I was like, man, there's something special about this dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, to your point, what you just said is 100% true, and it's because the other company, like, well, we don't have anything for you, or you can tell they don't see anything in them, so they show them the door, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors and all that crap, and then they have to go figure it out, or show them, boy, you made the wrong move, and that title that they have in that company is only 5 years old, but every time a guy like Swerve gets his hands on it and has great matches, that title becomes worth more today than it was yesterday.
Yes. Right.
So, it's, and I get it. I've seen and heard both sides of this argument for years now. Well, it's a new company. It's not as important. I'm like, you're missing the point, man. Like, the fact that not, and no disrespect to TNA, he didn't win the TNA world title where 2,000 people retweeted it. He went to AEW where millions of fans around the world saw it. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And the fact that he's presented as the world champion and a threat and one of the best we have here. And he was never going to get that in the other company. Do you know what I mean? And it's not to me about, well, the other company's got more history. I don't care about any of that. It's presentation is what matters to me. You know what I mean? So
I think Swerve as well, to go on with that point of where you're saying it's how he presents himself outside of AEW as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that mogul gimmick isn't a gimmick for Swerve. It's absolutely like he is like the top of his game, like podcasting, his rap, his clothes, his everything. It's just all up there. Like it's incredible. And if
Yeah.
he's made himself feel that big of a deal before he's even got the belt on him. Like he's unstoppable. Like it's an inevitability that he was going to get that belt. Jay, stop it with the blasphemy. I can see that comment. Not having it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. I'm with you. I think I think Swerve is just crushing it right now. And you're right. He takes it seriously for sure. One match left, ladies, and it is the Elite defeating Team AEW. I continue to hate that name. Danielson, Darby, Cash, and Dax. Anarchy in the Arena match. I had a lot of fun watching this. I had to believe they had a lot of fun doing it. Oh, the bit with the music.
Yes.
Turn that crap off. You know,
It's costing me $200,000 every time I play.
Jesus.
Man, that final countdown stuff was
Fantastic.
for anyone that's ever followed Danielson before he ever signed with WWE, you were popping like crazy. Like, my
The
goodness.
timing of it as well, like when Darby jumped off the barrier to when it hit the final countdown, and then there's like Danielson like pausing fighting so that he can sing along to it as well. And he's like, I'm gonna stop beating Okada for like a second. Let's sing. Like fantastic. So good.
That was awesome. That was awesome. So let me say this to you three, and whoever wants to take this can. There's been criticism. Criticism gets AEW. What?
It's unheard of.
But I know. But people talking about Okada. I will say this for the record, having watched this, Okada looked like he was out of place, number one. Number two, maybe wear jeans or something to maybe fit a little bit more in. This is me nitpicking, whatever. Maybe tape your fists up or something. It kind of looked like one of these just doesn't belong kind of thing. However, again, I go back to his heel run when he first came back from excursion to New Japan. He was, and they hated him. Like, he was devious and nasty. And, you know, people forget, and that's fine. But, like, is anybody else bumping into Okada here, or is it just the appearance of it? Because personally, I bump into it. But, again, I tell you three, if you're not going to put the belt on arguably the best worker that this business has seen in the past 10 years, if you're not going to put your belt on him, you got to keep him busy. And you've got him with the main event owners of the company. So who's got a take on this?
Maybe they should have sent Okada out with balloons. Maybe that would have been better.
Wonderful. Color his hair pink again.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Man, you know, I kind of feel like Okada's still trying to find his footing. With Osprey coming, Mercedes coming and everything, Okada coming too, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of big names in a short time span. I was actually, when Okada debuted, he was outside of Atlanta, and I was actually thinking about going to that show, and I was like, I know. We're shorthanded at work. I was like, yeah, we're shorthanded at work. Well, Mercedes is going to debut the next week. Probably ain't really nothing too much going to go on. And they proved me wrong and pissed me off in the process. But, I just feel like it's great Okada's there. Don't get me wrong, because I love Okada. I feel like having him with the Elite is a good thing because, obviously he's not very fluent in English, but you want to showcase him too. And so perhaps it's the best thing right now, but it's kind of like a learning curve type of thing with him being on American television now. Maybe just trying to find his footing to kind of where he could fit in AEW, whereas in New Japan, you just put him there and it'll be all good and dandy, you know?
Jay says
Yeah.
the world isn't ready for Okada in jeans with knee pads over them.
Oh, dear.
Wonderful.
Okada.
The American Dream, Kazuchika Okada.
Oh God.
What? I love it. Are you kidding?
I think Okada is perfect with the Elite. I think it was the best. I think it was the best choice for him to come in heel. And I think they've always had like that chemistry anyway, like the Bucks and Okada and stuff like that. I think it's been fantastic. But I thought he was brilliant on Dynamite when they gave him the Ferrari. And he was like, "Oh my God, is this real? Am I dreaming?" and then he like did a perfectly straight face after crying.
Wonderful.
It was
Wonderful.
fantastic. He knows what he's doing and he's very good at it.
Again, if you're not going to put the title on him, turn him heel. Let him have fun. And the point of this, Marie, I think, in my opinion, to me, is you can flip that switch back anytime you want to. And no one's going to go, "Oh, now we're supposed to believe Okada's." No, you believe it now. You believe it right now. There's no part of anybody in that crowd that goes, "Who's this guy?" No.
Right.
They all know. Right? So, like, God, I don't know how you lose unless he gets injured, and hopefully he doesn't. But, like, Marie, how does this go wrong? I don't know how this goes wrong, actually.
I don't know. I don't watch a whole lot of New Japan, so the very little times that I've seen Okada, he was a babyface, so I didn't even know he had this in him. So I'm learning. So I don't really have a really strong opinion about Okada one way or the other. To be honest, I'm still learning who he is and what he's about. So, but I will say this about the match itself, the anarchy in the arena. Only in AEW can you have 2 murders in a match and they not be the finish.
Yeah.
And I say that as a very lightheartedly because you can't take the anarchy in the arena match seriously.
No.
It's a big ball of goofball, silliness. And I enjoyed every second of it. If you just sit back, people, okay, if you're watching this right now, if you just sit back, put your phone away, and you just watch it and you allow yourself to have fun, you might just enjoy yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I think that's the whole point of Anarchy in Arena is it's meant to be fun. And because they're gonna go all over the crowd. And that's like 100% guarantee it's gonna be a fun match if they're going in the crowd, right?
Yes.
Because the crowd gets to be a part of it, whatnot. But yeah, Anarchy in the Arena is kind of like no limits. You could just do whatever you want. I just, I think I just enjoy it's just fun. And
this is
a little bit wild.
This is Wile E. Coyote. This is the Acme anvil falling on a guy off a cliff. This is not to be taken. And
silly nonsense.
Yeah, I mean they was it Jack Perry was soaking wet. Jack Perry was soaking. They dunked him in the ice because they were going to set him on fire.
Yeah.
Because if you're paying attention, when he gets set on fire and it's just his legs, naturally you're going to think, well, he's soaking wet. And other people won't do that because they'll go on their phone.
Excellent impression. Totally accurate.
Thank you. I try. And I'm like, man, you people really need to get a life. Do y'all know that none of this is real? Like, do you know that they're not really trying to hurt each other? Do y'all even know what pro wrestling is? This is for kids.
I mean, Darby did for real get hit by a bus, but that was nothing to do with wrestling.
Yes.
Do you think he even sold it? I bet he didn't even sell it. You kidding me?
No, because 2 hours later he was at a Broadway show with someone. So,
my God. That guy, you kidding me?
You know what, right? If can you imagine being a bystander though, and you just text your friend and you're like, I just saw Darby Allin got hit by a bus, and they're like, "Yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever."
That text actually goes, dude, I think I just saw, you know what I mean? Because it's like you're still trying to calculate. Did I just see Darby Allin get hit by a bus in it? Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
And
Right.
just walk it off, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie says, here's a question. Which wrestler dead or alive is the best on the microphone who seems to not just repeat the same catchphrases, but can really improvise through their career and when they get the mic? Dusty Rhodes, hands down. That's the only answer.
Okay.
You know how I know? Because the Hard Times promo, show me another promo where he talked about Hard Times. You see what I'm saying?
And it's still relevant today. That's one of the main reasons, too. It's still relevant today.
Dusty's promos were original. I can't say every time, but Dusty said he just, whatever was on his head, top of his head, he would get it out there. For me, the answer is Dusty.
For me,
Always.
it's John Moxley.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, he's good, too. He's one of my favorites. Somebody that I was actually looking at today, and I'm just going to specifically mention this because I feel like it needs to be talked about more often. Road Dogg. I think he was really great on the mic, too.
Yeah.
I feel like he's very underrated on the mic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Go back and watch some of his stuff, especially in TNA, because they have a TNA channel on Pluto. And I was actually looking at that today, and he came out and cut a promo, and I was like, man, gosh, I was like, man, he's so underrated on the mic. He's always has so much charisma, and he knows how to get your attention.
That VKM stuff him and Billy Gunn were doing was entertaining.
Mm-hmm. I liked when it was the 3 Live Crew too. It was him, Ron Killings, and Conan.
Yeah,
that was amazing to me.
That was fun.
R-Truth, y'all. He was amazing before he was R-Truth.
Marie, you got an answer for that?
Yeah, but everybody knows what it is already.
Is it Eddie?
It's Eddie. I mean, he doesn't have a catchphrase. He doesn't.
So.
He just goes out there and speaks what's on his mind and his heart, and he lets you feel his emotions, and he sucks you right in. So.
Well, the floor is open, kids. We're gonna hang out for a few more minutes and let these ladies get to the rest of their night, and let Faye get some rest if she'd like to, because it's very late where she is right now. So, Ray's here. Ray, make sure we don't have heat, brother, because freaking don't talk to me anymore. Rex in Effect or Digital Underground, and Part 2 Ice Cube or Redman. And if Adam Cole invited you and your family to a beautiful water park and said you can bring a friend, can I come? And later wanted to get sweet potato pie and coffee, could I join as well?
Of course you can.
Of
As
course
long as
you
you don't
can.
have heat with Tom. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. I will say Digital Underground for me. Ice Cube. I'll say Ice Cube. That's not easy.
Yeah, I'd
either.
say Ice Cube too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course I will absolutely. I'm not a swimmer, so you could have my ticket. You could have my ticket to the water park. Enjoy yourself. Because I'm not going. I'm very pasty. I'd burn up anyway. So yeah. And I'm always down for dessert and coffee. Too much to my detriment, actually. Robbie says mine would be Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Very good answer. Go back and watch the Kane Dewey promo. It's one of the all-time greats. So good. The Kane Dewey promo from ECW is freaking awesome. Chad Too Bad says, is there a chance Becky goes to AEW after a sabbatical? Everyone's going like this. There's a chance of anything happening. Do I think she will? I think something would have to happen negatively. I think Seth would have to say, you know what? I think I want to go somewhere else. I think maybe then it would happen.
I would be thrilled if that were to happen. I would love to see.
Can you imagine?
I would love to see Tyler Black.
Tyler Black versus John Moxley.
Don't.
Versus
I think I'd
John.
cry.
Are you kidding me?
I think I would cry.
Oh my God. Versus John Moxley for the AEW World Championship.
Put Tyler Black in the G1.
Oh my God.
That's what we want.
Oh, Tyler Black versus any of them. Honestly. Shingo.
You'd
Shooter.
have to check on Phil.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Phil's guy for sure. Seth is 100%. Just as much as Punk is, I think. Jay says, would you rather Osprey and Swerve to main event All In, or should the main event be Heyman versus Swerve in a dog collar match? I think we all
Dog
agreed.
collars. Dog
Yeah.
collars. For purely selfish reasons. I just love them. They're my favourites. They're my boys. And I want to see that happen.
Dog
That's what I
collar
want.
match. Good stuff.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd be here
everybody
for it.
either is saying, Will Ospreay, or I've heard MJF, and I was like, it's still a little too soon for MJF too, people.
Yeah, we hadn't talked. Well, I know we talked about MJF
We didn't mention
on
him
our
coming
show.
back.
I
Yeah.
know. So we had a hot start of a match, and then they kept it going with MJF returning and cutting a really good promo. To which MJF is very good on the mic too, cuss words and all.
MJF with his Triple H tribute
Yeah, I know.
jersey,
Yes.
jacket, and vest. Yeah.
I think it would have been really funny if when he revealed the AEW tattoo, if he'd have had a WWE tattoo on the other leg. Like,
Yeah. I love him. I mean, it's a really, really good sign that he's staying, because and look, we talk about things. I've always said for years, there's two realities. There's a reality we all think we know, the reality we all share, and there's the reality that they live. So sometimes they cross, sometimes they do not. And one of those guys will read a story that every dirt sheet on the planet has gotten, and that guy's like, none of that ever happened. Ever. So this thing about MJF may have never even thought about, I'm not saying he didn't, but maybe didn't even cross his mind about, I don't want to leave. We're just getting started. I'm a main guy here. Why would I want to leave now? I'll just be a fish in a pond over there. Over here, I'm a killer shark. I don't know. I think maybe we all made a lot of fuss over it because that's kind of what we do, and that's fine. But I wonder how much really was he swayed by anything outside of AEW. I don't know.
why would you leave when you're at the top of your game, really, realistically?
Yeah.
You get there where you were there when you started, and then be like, right, that's it. That's me. I'm done now. You don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. Shane, we didn't talk about. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and the fact that he reached there without them too.
Yeah.
He is their home. He's their homegrown star,
Yeah.
hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because people talk about that being Hangman. He was very much his story was already planted, whereas MJF's really was. We saw that from the beginning
Yes.
in AEW. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh no, you're fine. We just started talking at the same time. Yeah, I was gonna say the same exact sentiment. Basically, when you think of AEW, for me, the first person I think of is MJF.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew him in MLW and knew he was an entertaining guy and a really, really good heel. But man, he took that MLW stuff and multiplied it by 100 in AEW. Man, it's good. Shane said you didn't talk about Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez. We didn't review NXT. This is AEW Double or Nothing review. And he also said Mox is good, but he's no Terry Funk, brother. The good thing about wrestling, you can have your opinion. We've all got one. It's okay that you feel that way.
Terry
Nothing wrong with
was
that.
also great on the mic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Chad says, well, it's open floor. Chad says, what does your panel think about Jordan Grace?
I think it's a good day for wrestling. I just hope that they don't sort of do a quiet buyout of TNA with him.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Stuff. Yeah, I know.
I think they are reading the room, and I think as comfortable as they are and all the money they're making, it's not enough. I think they're looking at AEW with New Japan, and GCW has been on there. I think they're looking at that going, yeah, we can't let this go on much longer. So I think there's been a handshake deal with TNA at some point to
prohibit his
The
entrance
reaction
is going to happen.
The reaction she got and the reaction online just shows this is a great move. Jordan Grace has a lot of respect, and I can't be happier for her because she works so hard. She's a very hard worker.
Delighted for her that she got to say the belt that she has as well, and knockout, because obviously the whole who was it that was in the Rumble? Mickey James, and they didn't get to say what she held or anything like that. So really nice to see her to be able to acknowledge the achievement that she's had with that
Yeah.
belt. Fantastic. I don't really watch WWE or NXT at all, but it's still nice for her. Yeah.
And a lot of the pushback on that company has always been, well, their fans won't know. And I'm like, because you don't tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
They like
are
to
not.
pretend that other wrestling doesn't exist ever.
Yeah. Like, you're saying to me that WWE fans are dumb. Is that what you're telling me? Like, WWE fans are so dumb that they think this all wrestling I see is this one. I got blinders. I don't see. Come on. They're not dumb.
They're all discovered talents. They're not.
They're just not telling
had
them.
these big things beforehand, like the whole.
I was at the Royal Rumble, and Jordan Grace got one of the biggest pops of all the women that came out for the women's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge.
The access that people have now to wrestling every day, 8 days a week, that you can get access to wrestling from all over the world.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of it. They should take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, a lot of us remember having to do a lot of digging to find stuff from before the internet. I mean, yeah, it's like I tell my nephew, but I got 2 nephews that are 16. I'm like, y'all have no idea how good you got it. You don't know what it's like to go to a video store to rent WrestleMania just came out, and you have to wait another month because it doesn't stay on the shelf. Everybody wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like when I first started watching anything I could get my hands on, I was just like, oh, I want to watch this. I want to watch this. I want to watch this. I couldn't just click on the computer and get what I want right away. Like that was not even a thing in 1996. Like
on the telly, if there was a ring and there was wrestling, you didn't even care if you'd never seen it before in your life. You just watch it because it was wrestling.
Yeah. Exactly. And you had to know somebody that had access. We used to a friend of mine tried to order a tape off eBay, and she got baited out, and the guy reached out to her, and he's like, hey, listen, I know you wanted that, but I got a whole collection of whatever you want. Like, I mean, he had stuff from Japan.
Wow.
So any wrestler you wanted. He actually had a list of every match he had with a particular wrestler, and you could pick out what you wanted, and you could do it on a 2-hour VHS, a 4-hour VHS, or a 6-hour VHS. Like, that's dedication. Like, that's why I was telling my nephews, I was like, you can watch whatever you want at a click of a button. We had to do all that.
Yeah.
And then shout out to the guy that actually did that, because this day and age, no ma'am. No way.
It's like that one person that has like it's like those people, that have like all the Lucha Underground stuff and stuff like that. And it's like same vibe.
I mean, tape trading was a big thing back in the day before the internet ever happened.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's how you learned about other companies around the world. And wrestling magazines, Shane mentioned wrestling magazines. I still got a huge box of wrestling magazines. I put them on the show one time and held them up, talked about it. I might do that again one of these days. May have to do a whole episode on just wrestling magazines. That'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. If a pay-per-view came on, you have no way of knowing who won what. You also didn't find out till 3 months later via WWF magazine.
Yeah, and most of the magazines were just BS. They weren't like, here's an interview with Al Perez. They didn't talk to Al Perez. That's not him talking. The guy that wrote the thing wrote it. Most of it wasn't even real. But as a fan, you didn't know that, and it was written all kayfabe. So you thought, oh my God, what And it was like a comic book. It was awesome.
I always looked forward to the Q&As with Shawn Michaels and the London Rays.
Well done.
I
still got a huge box of them. Well, kids, we've went about 2 hours. Well, hour and 40. We're going to go ahead and tell everyone good night here. Before we get out, thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. I very much appreciate all three of you hanging out with me. And I think I'm going to try to keep the guest thing happening on this show. So I may be tapping you on the shoulder again soon. So don't have a life. Don't choose to do no dates, no husbands, none of that crap.
Only wrestling.
Thank you. And it's like, yeah, I can't hang out. Well, Tom said I couldn't. What do you mean, Tom who? Yeah, it's fine.
Tom's actually our third peach on the show, so
That's
yeah,
me.
we're overdue for that too.
The
That's
sweetest
me.
peach.
Well, people have accused me of that. I mean, I guess I'll take it. It's my cross to bear. What can I say? So before we get out of here, I'll let you ladies give a chance to plug your socials. We'll go around the horn. Marie, we'll start with you. Plug yourself. Tell everybody out there where they can find you.
Well, I'll let Alora do the plugging for Peaches and Powerbombs, but in addition to that, Mr. Ray Day and he has joined me for the Real Wrestling Community tailgate party every Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. We preview that episode of Dynamite coming up, so make sure that you check that out. Plus, the next weekend, Friday and Saturday, I will be a commentator for the Birthday of Champions show in Marietta, Georgia at Flashback Games. Eric Nelson is putting on a really big show. We're going to have a lot of legends like Sergeant Slaughter, Jake the Snake, Princess Victoria, and other people like that to do a bunch of autographs and stuff. And then, of course, the wrestling. And the wrestling part is free, so please come and join the show.
Awesome. Well done. Well done. Congratulations on that. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Laura, what you got?
You could catch me and Marie on Peaches and Powerbombs. We try to do a little something every Tuesday to every other Tuesday, depending on our schedules. But you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Peaches and Powerbombs. Twitter/X is Peach Bombs Pod. And that's where you will find me.
Very cool. Faye, you're last up. What you got?
Yeah, I am part of the Untitled Wrestling podcast. We do monthly reviews of shows that we've been to. We do retro watch-alongs. We cover monthly reviews of AEW, New Japan, GCW, all that fun stuff. We're on Facebook and YouTube as Untitled Wrestling Podcast, and Twitter, Twitch, and Discord as Untitled Rest Pod. And we're on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts.
A pox on the social media platforms that won't allow you to have all the characters you need for the name of your show.
Yeah.
Because I run into the same thing. So
yeah,
a pox on their houses. You know what I say to that?
Hot garbage.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to use the button. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting I made a new button. It's sleeker now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Good.
yeah. We're all very DIY here, kids, in case you can't tell. So girls, thanks again for hanging out. Don't go anywhere, but I appreciate all three of you very much. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. There you go, kids. There was three of the best there, and we hope you enjoyed it. Before I get out of here, hey, I'll let them plug their stuff. I'm going to plug another podcast for you. This is 16 seconds. Hold tight. Check this out. Tom Clark's 6M podcast focuses on movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. Join us for new episodes every week. Available on boinkstudios.com and wherever you get your podcasts. Huh? Hey, man, we're just trying to stay busy. That's all. Trying to get out into the world. So, yeah, hope you appreciated that. Go check out the 6M podcast. I have a lot of fun on that show. It's usually myself and Phil Lindsay as the co-host, but I have an open co-host chair that whoever wants to join. We've actually done watch-alongs on that show. As the ad just told you, everything you can imagine from every stage of the 6Ms in that show there, man, we've covered it. So, yeah, please go out of your way to go check that out if you will. The latest episode was Blazing Saddles that we just put out. That was a fun one. And the one coming up, sneak peek, the episode I'll be releasing on Tuesday is Harlem Nights. That was a fun episode as well. So see, we keep it varied, man. We've done album reviews. We've done, you name it, we've done on the 6M. So thanks, kids, for checking that out. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching the main event. Remember, the audio version of this show is available on all the major platforms. Please go visit boinkstudios.com, BOINK, boinkstudios.com. You'll find links to everybody that you see here. You'll find their links on that page as well. And we update the shows all the time on that website. So please go check it out. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, kids. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week, next Saturday, 6:05 p.m. until I change it. We'll see if I have to. If I do, I do. I'll let you know. Don't worry about it. But again, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.